no doubt brought them into the place they need to be to take to court today. There's a lot of experience in that Fiji side as well, Natalie.
So just seeing the teams announced on court. Vicky Wilson, coach of the Fiji side, obviously a well earned many caps for Australia. First debuting in 1985 and has 3 golds and 1 silver for Netball World Champs under her belt and a gold for Commonwealth Games. So she is in the Australian Netball Hall of Fame, so not somebody who is new to the game.
Certainly not new to the game, and a wealth and depth of experience. An absolute pleasure to speak to her today. I first came across Vicky when I toured Australia with Scotland back in '87, and she's a bit of an idol for me, so it was lovely to have some chat with her today, and great character for the game.
And for our head coach for Scotland, we have Gail Parata, and she's obviously head coach for Scottish Sirens as well, that have been playing in the Super League this year.
Yeah, she certainly was. She was our Sirens head coach last year, so a bit of a dual role for Gail last year. It's no mean feat to have both squads to coach through a season, so she's done a great job, and we're delighted to see the Thistles back in action today. It'll be an exciting day for Scotland to see them take to court again.
Our umpires today are James Thomas and Sarah Watts, both from England. And we have Alison Davis, who's the reserve umpire from Wales. Both Sarah and Alison have their international umpire awards, and James Thomas is an INF talent identified umpire, so some good talent in terms of our umpiring today as well.
Oh, that was a fantastic read of the ball from Kahatorka at the back there, just timed the jump impeccably to steal the ball for Fiji.
Some contest early on by both teams. How nerve-wracking is it coming out for the first game of the championships?
Yeah, it's always nerve-wracking to be the opener, and it's just great to get the first centre pass and get everyone a touch of the ball, blow the cobwebs away. Just the importance is in the warm-up, that they put a thorough warm-up together for the 30 minutes beforehand to get those legs out, get them running, get their eye on the ball.
So the first shot goes to Fiji. So that's a turnover on that centre pass.
Just the wing defence. Murphy seemed to have broken the line there.
Do you think that's nerves as well? So
yeah, just anticipating, hoping to get the jump that our feet hadn't grounded before the whistle had gone, but unfortunately missed time. And a good rebound there by Mulhern.
Some nice fast play down the court by Scotland. Just a contact call there.
I think Goodwin seems to be backing into her player there. That's something she'll need to keep her eye on.
Goodwin's quite a young player, isn't she, with a lot of experience?
Yeah, she's got huge experience for someone who's just turned 18. She's come through the pathway in Scotland very strongly, and has played up on many occasions. We've seen her play at under 17s, 21s and open in the one season, and that's not a mean feat, so experience with young heads.
Scotland just seem to be struggling to get the ball through the court. Some really good defensive play by Fiji, and so fast through the court to their goal. Really quick transition.
Good to see Scotland just settling the nerves there and getting the first goal on the board. It's a strong start from Fiji, pressure on every pass.
What do you think the differences in styles between these two teams, having seen them?
Yeah, it's very different. Obviously the Fijian style is influenced by the Southern Hemisphere, a lot of the Kiwi influences there, and certainly I'm sure Vicky's got a lot of the Aussie diamond techniques into play there. So it's very different, you know, the European style is very similar for all the home nations, so hugely important for the home nations to get the opportunity to play these teams ahead of the Commonwealth Games in April, and it'll be of great value. It's fantastic that Netball Europe have been able to secure Fiji for this competition.
Just seem to be struggling to get that ball in a little bit.
Yeah, they certainly are. They have to be patient at this point and just, you know, possessions the way. That's a great swing round the top of the circle from McCleary to Brownie there. Unfortunately, just not able to sink the shot. So just really need to calm the nerves a little bit.
Replayed there.
Both teams are putting a lot of pressure on the ball.
There's quite a lot of errors to start off with. Do you think that's normal to see at this level, or is it the pressure? Or
yeah, unfortunately, maybe it is normal. It's a bit disappointing. You know, at elite level, we're not looking for all these basic errors. You really need them coming out firing and just putting all the cobwebs off, get the basic errors, concentrating on fundamentals, get them nailed early on in the game, just to build that confidence. It's a good pick up by Brownie.
very confident on the shot. Good win.
Yeah, she's very composed, very calm. It's exactly what you're looking for in a shooter, because it is, you know, to have that composure, having had to put the work in to get your space and then put the shot up.
There's a reasonable height difference as well, isn't there, in the defence attack? Do you think it's important these days for shooters to be really tall, or?
It seems to be the way of the modern game, unfortunately.
It's a strong interception by the goalkeeper, caused a bit of a woo from the crowd. There's lots of school children in here today, so Sports Wales have been working hard to inspire the next generation and have given a number of free tickets out to schools today.
That's great. You know, these children should be here looking at the role models and aspiring to take the port for Wales in the future.
Great long ball into the goal attack.
Unfortunately, Brownie just couldn't keep the ball in court there, but Scotland have worked hard to bring this back. It's 5-2 now, and Fiji had such a strong start. They'll be looking to consolidate here and, you know, just settle their own nerves.
Just checking in with the umpire, making sure they're setting the penalty in the right place. So we've had these new rules for a while now, where you can take the penalty quickly, but you still have to make sure you set it. Don't forget, you can get in touch with us on Twitter, #AnyOpen. Tell us your thoughts of the game so far.
A little bit of frustration going into the Fiji game there. They weren't happy with that call, the replayed ball, and really just needs to focus, get their head back in the game here. It could start running away just a little.
Scotland seem to have shortened it up a little bit as well. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, they've had to do that. You know, the long balls, if they're on, but they're not going to work 3 times in a row. If you've got a decent defence in there, as they should be, coming and picking it off.
Fiji now struggling to get in through hard Scottish defence. They really need to score this one to keep themselves within touching distance.
Yeah, it's just an unfortunate handling error by Nico there. She had the right positioning for the rebound, box the shooter out, but Just couldn't keep her hands on it, so Fiji back in possession.
It's another one of those basic errors that we were talking about at the beginning. Seems to have been a foul on the throw.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's something Vicky Wilson will have a chat to the squad about at quarter time. Just settle that. If they tidy this up, they're strong, excellent players. They can certainly bring it back.
So we're over halfway through now, and Scotland have pushed out their lead, 8-2. So 6 goals in it. Fiji could really do with a turnover right now.
Yeah, I think they've just got to keep their discipline, because they're starting to make quite a few contacts, and that's something, the umpires, once that happens, you can draw the attention, they will focus on that a little bit, so they just need to tidy up the game and keep the head.
It's a good rebound there from the goal defence.
Good pressure again from the Thistles. Quite a low shot going in there. I didn't think it was going to reach Natalie, but just managed to sink that one. So it's 9-2 currently to Scotland.
Fiji not comfortable shooting from that position, trying to work it round.
Yeah, I think Scotland are just forcing them to make quite a few passes, causing the errors. Fiji back in possession.
It's not too much movement from the Fijian attack in comparison to the Scottish attack. Do you think that's a factor in the scoreline at the moment?
Yeah, I think they'll have to change it up just a little. They're looking really to hold their spaces, but Mulhern in particular is very solid in that she's got very fast feet and great vision. She's moving and changing her position. It's just putting that error, sort of bit of doubt into the feeders and causing those errors as the ball's coming into the shooters, so they need to change it up a little. That's a good hands in by Murphy there. Unfortunately, I think she was offside, so Fiji free pass just inside the circle from Lucy Vakula. That's a great shooter-to-shooter ball. An excellent shot. Good for them to get a goal back here, just build a bit of confidence. That's a lovely take. Wing defence and quick transition down the court.
A contact call there again against the Fijian goal shooter.
It's a lovely passage of play by the Scottish Thistles.
So fast through court, the Fijians just couldn't keep up with that.
Yeah, it's great read off and good timing by all players, and good shot by Goodwin to finish it off.
So what would you be looking at if you were the Fijian coach, if you were Vicky Wilson? What would you be looking at right now in terms of defence to try and stop that quick transitioning?
I think they need to focus on their one-to-one, man-to-man player. There's quite a lot of erratic decisions going on at the moment. They really need to just do their own job, focus man-to-man, really tight marking and try and slow the Scottish attack down. Once they're on the ball, they are really bringing the ball through very, very quickly, so they need to really focus it, slowing that down, breaking it up.
Good two-handed inception by Claire Brownie. She's not one who shies away from going in for those balls.
No, she is not. She's an experienced attacker and defender, strong, very, very strong, powerful athlete now. Captain the Sirens as well as the Thistles for the last year, so yeah.
And had a recent spell at Fast Fives.
She did. Thoroughly enjoyed it, yeah. It's great to see some of the Scottish athletes getting picked up by the franchises for that.
Do you think it's made a big impact for Scotland having Super League side now?
Absolutely, yeah. Certainly you know, that elite training environment and that competition level week after week, it just takes them to a different level for us. So yeah, certainly been an impact, and you can see the younger athletes who are training partners coming through. So yeah, it's been huge for Scotland. Yeah, I think we certainly brought a lot to the table, and you know, it was great games all across the board. So the English franchises certainly came to Scotland and got game after game. There was no whitewashes going on. It was lovely to see the level of competition.
Yeah, they finished 6th this year, didn't they, in the Super League, which is a good finish for a debut season.
Yeah, we would potentially have been hoping for a little bit higher, but you know, first season we're not too bad. Happy with that.
Another quick transition through this court for Scotland. I see them starting to step onto one foot, the shooters. Is that because of the pressure from the defenders?
Yeah, you can see the goal defence there was coming in from Lindsay Gallagher's left-hand side, or sorry, her right-hand side. She has a left-handed shooter, so just takes the pressure off. She can just move herself away, and that's a good tip for youngsters to watch and see what the shooters are doing. You'll see sometimes they even take themselves back a step, just to have that vision over the hands of the defender. So certainly, you know, all you youngsters out there, watch all these shooters on both sides and pick up some top tips how to get around these tall defence arms.
Kaha Toku for Fiji as well has been seen jumping on a number of occasions, and she's quite accurate on that jump. So
she's very accurate. It's not an easy skill to learn. Her timing's impeccable, and yeah, it was certainly the first one she took for that first centre pass was incredible.
Nice shot there by the goal shooter for Fiji.
Yeah, you can see the difference when the Fijians just swing the ball quickly. You know, it's instant decision making, and it just the Scottish defence did not have an answer there. So yeah, I'm sure Vicky Wilson will be telling us to do just a little bit more of that in the second quarter.
And if you were the Scottish coach, would you be quite happy now?
Yeah, I think they've settled into the game. They had quite a erratic start, a few fundamental errors creeping in there, but they certainly got their eye in the game. And yeah, I think Gail Pirata will be quite happy. I'm sure she'll have some words of wisdom, no doubt. But yeah, overall, a good first quarter. You know, 15-5 against a top 8 in the world. A good first 15, but 45 minutes to go. Let's see what happens next.
Final shot of the game maybe coming up. No goal, 3 seconds. That takes us to the end of the first quarter. Scotland leading 15-5. We have a shout out from Devizes Netball Club. Great to see netball on the BBC. We agree. We definitely think it's great to see netball on the BBC. So, Geraldine, Head of Development for Netball Scotland, how is development going? What is in place at the moment for Scotland to inspire the younger athletes?
It's a busy time for netball in Scotland. You know, the growth has been huge over the last few years. We were lucky enough to host the World Youth Champs in 2013, followed quickly in the back of that with the Commonwealth Games. It just raised the profile beyond our expectations, and it's been amazing, you know, for the population of Scotland to see the, you know, elite netball on their doorstep was fantastic, and you know, the growth of our sport has been huge in the back of that. You know, we've had 1,500 bounce back to netball members come, you know, got off the couch and come back to be active, people who used to love the game and just fell away for all those natural reasons of family and work, etc. So, you know, a huge membership for that, and we've loved seeing these ladies, you know, come back to our sport. Lots of new junior members come back. They're inspired by these young athletes. We've got 4 World Youth, you know, girls out in this squad today. So they're just back from Botswana, and for the young primary and secondary school girls to look up and say, you know, that could be me. That's fantastic. And yeah, we've got lots going on. Just launched our walk-in netball too. So, you know, we really have a pathway for all, and that's great for Scotland to be able to be proud of that. We can welcome everyone of all ages and abilities to our sport. So yeah.
And I'm sure the same as most governing bodies, run by many volunteers and a few staff.
Yeah, and our staff base is growing, but as our staff base grows, you know, the demands grow. But you're absolutely right, Nancy, we cannot run this sport without our volunteers, and They are just amazing. You know, it just won't happen without them. The club coaches and team managers and administrators and bench officials across the country. They're running all the local leagues. You know, we are the expert resource in terms of guidance and support, but without these people week after week, you know, running their children to games and signing them up and paying their fees and getting them, you know, passing on their passion, you know, sport just doesn't happen. That's the same for all sport, and you know, we love our netball volunteers. They're just awesome.
Yeah, you can see them out in force here today as well. I mean, Sport Wales have obviously helped fund this event, and there's many volunteers running around. There's been Netball Europe volunteers working late into the night to make sure that everything's prepared, and people running back and forth today. It's just full of people that just love netball.
It's just fab, you know, and everyone's got a smile on their face. Everyone loves a competition and an event, and to walk in here today, you're just greeted the minute you walk in the door. Everyone knows what's happening, where to go. You know, you ask a question, you get an answer. It's amazing. So well done to Wales Netball and all those volunteers in Wales that have come out to make this. You know, we're match one, and I'm sure they'll still all be smiling at the end of Sunday and should be really proud of what they've put on.
We see both teams just doing their huddles and their shout outs, and now making their way back onto court, ready for the second quarter of this first game. So James just delivered the ball. Looks like Fiji centre. Let's see what's in store for us this quarter.
So no changes for either side then, Natalie. Both coaches have decided to run with the 7 they put out in the first quarter, and that's a wise decision. Sometimes even when you're behind, you know, you need to give that 7 time to settle and just come through with the game. It's a great feed through to Rusa Vakula.
Yeah, it's always a difficult decision, isn't it, when to change it, why to change it, and one that often coaches get scrutinised for, so there's always things going on that we don't know about up here.
Absolutely.
Fiji Netball have just tweeted, "Let's go Fiji, hashtag Fiji Pearls, hashtag go Fiji go, hashtag NE Open." And I do believe it's quite early over in Fiji at the moment, so well done you for being up nice and early.
Yeah, good morning, Fiji.
Both teams converting off their centre pass. It looks a lot more settled so far this quarter. Still nice and settled. Who's going to be the first to break? I guess you're hoping it's Fiji.
My neutral commentator's hat on. Absolutely not.
I've just put the kiss of death on it. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, it's a really clever defensive tactic you see there from Navahi. She's doing a double jump. You know, so Bethan Goodwin thought the defensive jump had come there. Just as she goes to put the shot up, she's come in with her second jump, and it's obviously just put that little bit of doubt in Goodwin's mind as she released the shot.
And how as a shooter do you train for that? Because surely it must be quite difficult to replicate this kind of pressure with that style of defence in training situations.
Yeah, I think that's the coaching team's job. You know, they will train for all eventualities. They will train getting pushed off the ball. You know, it's the circles and at this level are so hotly contested that must feel as though there's not an inch to breathe or move. So they have to simulate that in training and make it as tough. You know, they'll load the defensive circle. You know, they'll train with 3 defence against 2 just to simulate what it's going to feel like when you get out in there into the actual game.
Another contact call. We've seen a couple of those, haven't we, now, in long balls into the circle where the keepers come out a little bit too early.
Yeah, I think there's been maybe 3 or 4, and that's probably too many for me, you know, and once you've been bitten by that the second time, I wouldn't be trying that tactic again. So Yeah, it's just a misjudgment, and they're going to go for the long ball, but obviously the faked pass from the Scottish Thistles is teasing them into going for that, and it's just not working.
Scotland still able to move that ball quite quickly through court.
I think we're getting a bit of vision block there with the defensive hand. Such a long reach there.
Interestingly, goal shooter stepping in front of the defence. Is that something that you do to try and make the shot a bit easier?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just to give your other shooter protection, and block them getting that reach and getting as close as they can. So yeah, it's quite a good tactic, shooter to shooter.
A couple of bodies now that have been on the floor. It seems to have got a little bit more physical this quarter.
Yeah, it certainly is going to be a hotly contested right through to the 60th minute. And the exact same move again there. Just exactly what you were talking about, Natalie. Goalkeeper being tempted. Lindsay Gallagher called for contact. Fiji back in possession.
It seems like better moving through the court for Fiji. Oh,
just unfortunate there. I thought she was just about going to get away with that one.
The eagle eye of James. We're very lucky to have such talented umpires in the tournament this year.
Absolutely. I think we're just going to have Megan Alberti just spoken to there by the umpires. Just been a little bit of persistent contact on Claire Brownie.
Would that be a caution or?
Yeah, I think she just had a quiet word there, which is the right thing to do, and just, I'm watching you, just tidy it up a little.
Yeah, I mean, we've noticed it's got a bit more physical, so I guess it's important for the umpires to calm that down early on.
That was really good defensive pressure by the Scottish Thistles there, causing the held ball, so back in possession. Scoreline currently Fiji 8, Scotland 19.
Fiji really struggling to get through that Scottish defence. What is it, do you think, that Scotland are doing that's making it particularly tricky?
Yeah, I think they're working as a unit really, really well. Everyone's sticking to their job. You do see a lot of fast feet movement, so they're probably confusing space and making it look as though there's maybe an extra man there at the back as well. They're very, very mobile, so yeah, they're putting a lot of doubt into the Fijian attackers' decision making.
Yeah, we've seen the ball held for quite a long time. 2 players down now. Just waiting for goal defence to get back up to her feet. Hasn't put the shot off though. Scotland push out their lead. It's like you say, you can just see they're holding on to the ball just for a few more seconds longer than when Scotland have the ball.
Yeah, just a little bit hesitant. And when they do let it go, it's working. So they just need to build that confidence up in each other and just first time ball, just let it go.
And again, considering they have been away for a while, it's not something that we're unsurprised to see.
Absolutely.
It'll be interesting to see how they progress throughout the tournament. This game is definitely not over though. We've seen gaps like this diminish before.
Absolutely.
So 12 goals in it. At the moment, do Fiji have a comeback for this quarter?
Good pressure by Brownie, just winning the turnover ball.
Was slightly quicker through to that point.
Unfortunately not able to convert and picked up by Nickel. Here we see the Scottish Thistles. Oh, but lovely, lovely spill here just to intercept that by Solana.
She made it look easy, made it look like
Very
it passed
easy.
to her.
A little bit of flair, loving the ball handling.
Lots of arms in the air between the two centres.
Lots of off ball.
It wasn't me, Gov. It's interesting for umpires as well, isn't it? When there is a lot of contact.
Oh, that was just a bit of bad timing there.
It's just about to say, when there is a lot of contact off the ball, what do you pull and what don't you pull? They still want to make it flow.
Absolutely.
But that seems to be the first warning given out to the goalkeeper. So just run us through quickly. If you get a warning, what's the procedure after that?
Yeah, so you get your first warning, and then you progress to your second, your final warning, and then you can be put off court. So yeah, it's getting a little bit tight to, if you call time now, you must leave the court. So it's kind of tidied up the meant to tidy up the tactical substitutions going on.
We've just wiped out the ball girl as well.
Poor little ball girl.
So it'll be interesting to see now. Would you keep your goalkeeper on? Would you take her off? Would you tell her to calm down? It's such a difficult position then to be in, isn't it?
Absolutely, and sometimes it is just with that, even if take her off for a quarter, let's have a little chat, let's watch what's going on. And it's obviously about the Fijians understanding the umpiring as well, because certainly certain umpires have different sort of ways of umpiring. You have to get used to their style as well, so it's probably just the Fijians getting to understand the potentially European way of umpiring here.
And difficult as well. I mean, I think we both agreed that it was more just a mistiming of judgment. It's not a malicious. That was a great pass.
That was fabulous.
Sorry.
And unfortunately just missed, but a great rebound, great agility shown there. Able to finish it off. She deserved that goal because that was a wonderful move. She's nearly there, nearly got it. Determined to get one.
She is, isn't she? She's so athletic as well, so strong. You can't help but think it won't be long.
Oh, it's a great ball out to Claire Brownie.
Scotland making the most of those long balls. Just pushing the gap out now to 14. That's a nice play there by Fiji.
Yeah, it was a good swing of the ball. It was the right decision to see. So the goal attack was Ivakula holding the space really well. So it was really nice to swing the ball over and make the feed really easy into her.
And rewarded for that passage of play there.
That's a lovely fake pass in by Gallagher to Goodwin.
And those connections are so important, aren't they, between your mid-court and your shooters, because that ball was pinpoint accurate.
Absolutely. Oh, that's unfortunate, because it was good vision to see the goal shooter free under the post. Probably just actually, you think the trajectory on that ball is very low, so it probably needs a lot more power and direction in it, so she could have taken it nice and cleanly. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure whether the split helped her either. I think probably splitting to get closer to post, but it's difficult, isn't it, to be split, catch a low ball.
Absolutely.
With power. It's a lovely shot by the goal shooter. Fiji do have an exciting style. They're really contesting stuff.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very, very, physical, and it's great when it's controlled physicality. It's great to watch. I think Claire Brownie thought the ball had been given to the Fijians there. She'd started to move back. A bit of misunderstanding there. Just needs a bit of tidy up.
Holding on to that ball. They just seem to struggle to get through. That's nice. Is that a contact call?
Yeah, Mulhern just called for contact there. Could have been given as an advantage, so I think the goal shooter was slightly closer to post, but thankfully they did score it.
Oh. This could be the start of the Fijian comeback. 20 seconds left of this quarter.
I think they've just hit 3 in a row there. Another intercept.
If they can convert this, definitely leaves them in a stronger position going into the third.
Called for footwork. Probably too little time clock running out to get this ball through to goal.
Half-time buzzer sounds. We have 11 in it. That's one more than the last quarter. So 26 Scotland, 15 to Fiji. So the differences in that quarter, Scotland only won that one by 1. What do you think the differences were?
Yeah, I do think the Fijians were a lot more disciplined at the beginning of that quarter. They did. Probably midway through it they lost a little bit of their way, and I think they finished very, very strongly. So yeah, a lot more discipline, a lot more focus by the Fijians, and they've certainly put the ball through the net more consistently as well. We'll see if there'll be any changes coming from either side. Quite a teams leaving the court. Scotland you'll see leaving the court with Gail Parata to go for their half-time team talk. Fijians have decided to stay courtside with Vicky Wilson giving her points of strengths and weaknesses and what the next quarter will bring for her, so let's wait and see what the changes are.
It's interesting, isn't it? Some teams do decide to stay and some teams decide to go back to the changing rooms. What do you think the benefits are of going back to the changing rooms and staying on court?
I think it's very individual. It's up to those coaches what works for their team. We can hear the noise level ups at half time here, the entertainment starts. Maybe if you want your team a little bit more focused and not distracted, it's the right thing to do. Certainly if the changing rooms are not too far away, that's probably the tactic a lot take to head back there and get some downtime.
We can see from here Vicky Wilson giving her bits of advice to her team, going down very animated with her arms. If only we could be a fly on the wall and hear what she was saying. Both teams did well recently at the Netball World Youth Cup. Scotland coming out in 8th position and Fiji coming out in 4th.
Yeah, it was an excellent result, certainly for Scotland. We went with a target of finishing top 10. 10 was the target, so to finish in 8th, we're absolutely delighted. And I think, as you mentioned earlier, the strength of having, Super League team training in Scottish soil, to embed those young World Cup players, World Youth players within that training environment certainly gave them an added advantage going to such an elite competition, and you could see the strength and depth that they have. And now to have 4 of them progress through to the squad here at Netball Europe Open level within such a short space of time, it's all credit to the strength and depth that we have now in Scotland. And we're not quite as nervous when we have retirees coming up. We've got a little, there's backup coming through. So yeah, really delighted with that. And Fiji were excellent to watch. Thoroughly enjoyed watching the Fijians at the World Youth Cup. They really brought, that flair and excellent matches all the way through to finishing 4th. So all credit to Vicky. She led that team out there, and that was her focus before here. She only started working with this open squad in August, so she's not had a long time to bring this squad here and to work out our combinations and etc. And we have a few of the World Youth squad from Fiji here too, which is really nice to see them stepping up to an open cap, which is fabulous.
Yeah, quite a few players in the Fiji side as well were in the last Netball World Cup team as well, so I'm not sure as many progressions, but exciting for their youth coming through. And Vicky Wilson was the coach for their World Youth Cup team as well.
Yeah, she was indeed. So yeah, as I say, that was her focus up to July, to work with the youth team, and she had fabulous results. So all credit to Vicky. She's certainly taking new skills and styles and really focusing on strength and development in Fiji for them as a nation as well, and creating that pathway there to get them. They'll be pushing on. They'll want that 7th title back in the world rankings. I'm sure they'll be, that'll be their aim. We all aim to get higher than where they currently sit. Every squad wants to do better, so I'm sure they'll be disappointed at moving from 7th to 8th, but I'm sure they'll want to get it back as soon as. So.
Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? It's impacted by the number of games you play, is that correct?
Absolutely, yeah. And, we all have a certain everyone has to play a certain number of games over each season. And your past results can start to fall off. So it's actually really difficult to watch and see. It all depends who's playing where at what time during the seasons. They tend to change in July and January. We see the world rankings been updated, but we had a sort of interim update there recently, and quite a lot of change, and all credit to Wales, to be sitting in 7th. That's fantastic for Europe to have a team sitting in 7th. We've got Northern Ireland in 10th and Scotland sitting in 12th at the moment, and of course we've got England up there in 3rd. So to 4 teams in the top 12 in the world, we're not too shabby a region. We should be really proud of that. It's amazing. It doesn't happen in many sports.
Yeah, true. And interesting as well though, when you look at it, Scotland winning at the moment 26-15, Scotland ranked 12th and Fiji ranked 8th. If you were looking at this from an outsider, someone who wasn't involved in netball, you wouldn't necessarily predict this score before going into the game.
Yeah, and it's all relative, that is, the world rankings are based on past results. You can only put out the players you have today, so we don't know what Vicky, as we said, they hadn't played many games, since 2015. So I'm sure this is a new combinations for Fiji. They'll be starting to build up again. It certainly is new combinations for Scotland too, but on paper it wouldn't have looked like this. But it's all about what you put out in the court on the day.
Yeah, and we've already said we can see the learnings on court, the goalkeeper for Fiji going on those flies and getting closer and closer. So how important is it that the Scottish girls in particular have experienced that Netball World Youth Cup and managed to go out as youngsters and play against different nations and different styles? Yeah,
it's so important because the aim for all these youth players is to progress to senior and get yourself to a World Cup, get yourself to Commonwealth Games, and we're fortunate that we're all heading out to Commonwealth Games in April, and to experience the Caribbean style, to experience the African style and the Southern Hemisphere. They're all different, and it's so important that we get the youngsters exposed to all these different styles of game. It just makes their learning, accelerate their learning, and they can actually then bring that into their game and chop and change their tactics depending who they're facing. So it's so critical.
Because you've got quite a few in this squad then that are going to be playing netball for a good 10 years at least, touchwood.
Absolutely, yeah. Injury free, no more of these ACLs that are awful in our sport. But yeah, we've got such a youthful squad here for Scotland. We've got the upper end as well, we've got good experience, but it's lovely to see a blend of youth and experience. That's the way I would really like to see the sport progressing.
And the captain, Claire Brownie, was also the assistant coach out at the World Youth Cup.
She was indeed multi-talented. She's a fabulous coach. She's a fabulous role model for our sport. She's a great ambassador, you know, a player, a coach, you know, who wouldn't want to aspire to pull that thistle dress on when you look at the work players both on and off court. So yeah, great to have her.
And if you're watching New to Netball, a lot of these players as well, in fact pretty much all of them will have full-time jobs outside of netball, so netball is added on top of that, so for all us normal folk that
absolutely
just do the daily grind.
Yeah, speaking to Vicky Wilson today, you know, they have people, police officers in their squad, you know, everyone's out there earning a penny, earning their way in the world, and it's very unusual, you know, with the sirens for us, we were able to start bringing that, you know, semi-pro contracts in, but you know, that's you know, it's not the rule, it's the exception rather than the rule, but it's nice to see it coming in. But most of these girls are at school, university or work on a daily basis.
So Fiji starts off at the start of the third quarter. First goal in from their centre pass. I'm sure they'll be quite happy with that. Shout out on Twitter, Sterling Netball Club have put hashtag good luck, quoting Netball Scotland's tweet, hashtag NEOpen. So hello Sterling Netball Club, I hope you're enjoying the commentary.
They're a fabulous club in Scotland, I have to say. They have grown from, you know, small roots, from a bounce back to netball club, and now have juniors, they have seniors, they have an amazing volunteer network, so yeah, really strong supporter of the sport.
We have more people from around the world, so Bangladesh News 24 has tweeted, here's how it's looking in the NE Open, Scotland with a healthy lead against Fiji, and then watching live, leading everyone to the BBC Sport link. And JISA Sports as well, again putting here's how it's looking in the NE Open. So if you are following us, please send us a tweet, tell us what you think so far of the game, use a hashtag NEOpen.
A really good drive into the circle by Gallagher there, just turning a quick turn onto the ball and getting that quick feed in from McCleary. Just that protection again set up by Goodwin.
Do you think that's something that the coach will have talked about, or something that they will have come up with themselves?
It's probably a learned, you know, coaching point. You know, it's an option to bring in to protect your goal shooter to get the defence away. So
there's a good battle going on there.
Battles all over this court, Natalie. Vakula just deemed to be backing in there, I think.
We've seen a couple of offensive contacts this game.
I don't know, actually, it's not normally the defence. I think I've just butted in there. You were going to say the exact same.
I think as a lower level defender myself, it's normally us defenders that get called, so it's interesting that there's a lot of attacking contacts being called.
And I think it's only fair, there's so much contest in the game now, you shouldn't always penalise the defence and assume they're at fault.
Very quick to turn around and head towards goal of Scotland and get rewarded for that interception.
No substitutions from either side at the moment. We're just waiting to see if we hear anything from the bench. Certainly no change from the Scotland side.
Do you think you would have kept it the same if you were the Scotland coach, or?
Yeah, I don't think there's enough gap yet. You know, we were down to 10 at the beginning of this quarter, so as you say, it's only a few centre pass errors and turnovers, and you're back goal for goal. So potentially, yeah, it's the right thing to do at this point.
Have a player down for Fiji. It's just called time.
So she's called time. She now has to.
Or maybe she has a pull time.
She can't have, because she would have had to exit the court.
Well, it's good to see she's back up on her feet and running.
It's a good front exit for the circle from Gallagher there, just to ease the pressure.
They look for each other a lot, don't they, the shooters, when they get the ball?
They do play a lot together. They play in the same club team back home, so they are very, very comfortable. You know, the shooter to shooter ball. They've got great understanding of each other's strengths and where they want the ball. So yeah, you can see that very, very clearly.
There's a proud club coach somewhere watching this.
Yeah.
Another contact call. Great shot for Fiji.
Brownie is looking for the contact there, but not called. Just got to play to the whistle.
It's difficult, the balance between calling things and also having advantage, because sometimes it can be detrimental to play, can't it, if umpires keep bringing it back?
Absolutely, and I think it's quite a frustrating thing for neutral people watching the sport when they don't understand what every call is. It's really nice to see umpires letting the game flow, as long as it's safe. You know, an advantage call is absolutely appropriate. It's a great take and drive into the circle there by Ruzavicula.
Both captains are now being called over. Do you think that's to do with the contest on court?
Yeah, I think it's maybe just between the pair of them. I don't know if it's across all. I think there's been quite a lot of hot. Oh no, you're right, they actually are pulling both teams in. It's the right thing to do.
So it's good to see that the umpires have decided that it's getting a bit too dangerous. So having seen this before, they have a word with the captains, warn each team to sort out their contact, which we're assuming that's what it is, to keep it a bit cleaner, and that way it just keeps the game safe, and it also stops them having to blow the whistle all the time.
Absolutely. It's a good decision, and well done to both captains, and the teams reacted very, very quickly.
Very experienced umpire, Sarah Watts, so I'm sure the umpires chat at half and quarter time as well, don't they? So maybe something that they spoke about. Just overcooked that one.
That's a very confident one-handed take and layoff.
That was a lovely interception. Do you think she played for a little bit? They've been doing some long balls.
Yeah.
Could it be a strategy that you might employ to try and...
Could be, yeah, just to tease it in. It's a good option by Goodwin, just rolling off and taking the back space for the pass.
Scotland just pushing this out again, but we saw that in the last quarter and Fiji came back.
It's a lovely pass out by O'Hearn to Brownie, straight down into Goodwin. Let's see if she can finish it off. Lovely goal. A great passage of play by the Scottish Thistles. Bit of hot potato going on there.
It's better red. And again, Fiji's just holding on to that ball for quite a long time. That's interesting, isn't it? Because the Scottish defence set up quite well then to shut down the front options and force that long ball.
Yeah, they're forcing the ball over, but O'Hearn has really, as I said before, she's got really fast feet, can read and turn her body really quickly and, you know, get into the back ball when they're putting it over. So Yeah, I think it's a bit of teasing them into putting that back ball over and just cutting it off.
Do you think there'll be many other teams watching this game in preparation for their game when they face Scotland and
I would imagine
Fiji?
so. I'm sure I saw the Welsh team arrive, and obviously Wales are up next against Northern Ireland this evening.
Yeah, which will be another good battle, I'm sure. Interestingly, in the World Cup pools, Scotland, England and Wales are all in the same one.
We all watched it live with great anticipation to see who we would all be drawn, and as we say, you know, with 4 home nations at the Com Games, out of 12 teams we're going to end up playing each other quite a bit.
It's quite a lot for the coaches to balance, isn't it, coming up with the domestic leagues, if that's the Super League for some of them it's obviously Australia and New Zealand, but then New Zealand have just postponed theirs, haven't they, because of the Commonwealth Games?
Yes.
That's not the case here.
No, that's not. The Super League we run from January through to, February through to March, then there'll be a 5-week break approximately, and it will start up again after the games.
That must be quite a lot for the coaches to manage in terms of load for the players.
Absolutely, yeah, it's all, you know, very has to be very well monitored, and that's when the Institute of Sport, etc., have to look at that load and in periodisation, you know, what the players are doing. Yeah, we're looking at a couple of changes here in the Scotland team. We've got Ellie Gibbons on at goalkeeper. I think while we were talking there, we've just missed something, reading the sub sheets coming to the table, and we see Joe Pettit coming on to goal shooter for Scotland.
Do you think that's a tactical move now that now that Scotland are 18 goals up? Do you think that's to?
Yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. You know, get some fresh legs on, get other people exposed to the game. I think, may be correct, but I think this may be Ella Gibbons' first senior cap. She came through our pathway ranks and played at under 17, then took some time out and moved down to England, and she played Super League with Loughborough Lightning last year, so she had a fabulous season with Carnaxon and great experience, and it's great to see her put on the Thistles dress again.
Oh, lovely shot. When they get in their flow, they move the ball really nicely, don't they?
Absolutely, they've got wonderful ball handling. I love the take on the ball. It's so, lovely take and flair and touch, great weighted passes, and it's really nice to see. I'd like to see a little bit more of that, just let the ball go.
It's definitely going to be exciting to see Fiji throughout this tournament. Very welcome guests here at Netball Europe this season.
I think they've got a few supporters in the audience as well. Some local Fijians who've come out to support their country, which is lovely.
It's that long ball again. It's great pressure by Scotland.
A lovely high shot by Joe Pettit.
A little tap there from the goal attack, just to encourage her. Yeah. Good shot. Both players out, that makes the shot a bit easier.
It's easy, especially you can see how Lindsay Gallagher stepped in front of the goalkeeper there just in the off chance. You know, she did miss the shot, she's in prime position for the rebound. Not going to work too long, too high ball.
There's been quite a few of those, hasn't there, now?
I'm sure when the Fijians look back at, you know, when they're doing their analysis, that's certainly something that they're going to pick up, and I'm sure they'll be told, please don't do that much more.
Yeah. Frustrating potentially from the coach. Obviously can't interject with any information really until quarter time.
Yeah. It's excellent pressure.
Scotland seem to just have their foot down now.
Oh, that's an excellent feed in by Joe, but unfortunately Lindsay Gallagher just not able to pull the ball in, so Fiji back line. Let's see if they can bring the ball all the way through court, but great interception by Claire Brownie.
Do you think Fiji have lost a bit of momentum, or are Scotland now playing even better?
Interesting, you know, we have a new combination for Scotland on, and they just seem to fit it in seamlessly. That's the time that Fijians should have capitalised, and there's a change in combinations. They should have really put the pressure on. So, yeah, I think the Scottish sisters seem to have pressure all over Fiji at the moment.
Seems a bit more movement through court this time. Cheeky effort by the wing defence.
It's a good strong take by the goal attack, and a lovely goal to finish it off.
Lots of variety and on height in this game as well. Lots of balls being passed low. That was a fast quarter. Scotland are now leading 41-23, so really pushed out that quarter, with changes as well in the middle, so managing to get some fresh blood on. As the Fijian coach now, with the deficit as it is, are you planning on a comeback? Are you telling your players they can win it? What would your challenges be going into the next quarter?
That's quite a deficit now. You know, 19 goals in one quarter would be quite unrealistic to think we could, you know, stop Scotland scoring very many and to pile in over 20. So, you know, I think it's a bit of damage limitation now and being realistic but setting their own targets. You know, they have only scored 8, I think, in the last quarter. Vicky Wilson will be expecting more from them. Scotland scored 15 in the last. You'd be expecting, you know, you've got to reduce that. Let's keep Scotland to under 10. Let us win this last quarter. That target would now be go out and win the last one, finish in style.
We've got some more tweets coming in. All Stars Juniors says go Scotland. Hi All Star Juniors, hope you're enjoying. Trisha White says hashtag any open, enjoying watching the netball online. We're very, very pleased that it's online, and it's amazing that this is now going out to so many people. Bucksburn Netball, club training soon, but we'll keep following on Twitter. Awesome to have it on so many platforms. Thanks. Thank you for tuning in. Beth Crossley, amazing play from Scotland so far, impressive speed and accuracy. Good luck from Blue Mavs Netball Club in West Yorks. We would completely agree with that, wouldn't we, on speed and accuracy?
Yeah, absolutely. Doing a good job.
Mrs. Mack, oh, I don't even know how to say that. On you go.
On you go. Mrs. Mack is one of our regional managers, so hi Lee.
Hi Mrs. Mack. Mrs. Mack Pirate as well, from sunny Strathaven. Straven, sorry.
One of those funny pronunciations you have to get used to.
NS West South, so Netball Scotland West South.
Actually,
the reason I love my job, future Thistles, this could be you. We're shouting out to everybody in Scotland now of a young age, get playing netball. Kelvin Netball Club, some top play from the Scottish Thistles versus Fiji. Inspiration for K1 and K2. Claire Egan has just tweeted hashtag any open. Hi Claire. Nick, smiling like a maniac whenever your home team gets a big goal lead. Hashtag just netball things. Hashtag any open. We like that smile, Nick. Fiji will be hoping for a smile of their own, I'm sure, in this last quarter. But I'm sure that all the Scottish fans at the moment are very impressed with their team in this opening game.
I'm sure they are, and it's great to hear the support coming from back home for the teams, and I'm sure when Wales and Northern Ireland take to court later tonight they'll get the same, and it's exactly what we need. You know, we need these games broadcast, we need them out live streaming. It's great support from QTV, Netball Europe, Netball Scoop, BBC. Thank you. It's just exactly what the sport deserves.
Yeah, and I know it seems sometimes that your cheers don't reach the teams, but I can guarantee you that a lot of the squad will be checking Twitter and other platforms afterwards, and it really does help them through a big tournament to have that home crowd cheering them on, whether that's in person or via social media. It's always welcome. G84 Junior Netball can't wait to get to Cardiff tomorrow, loud and proud.
Yeah, they are one of the junior clubs in Scotland that travel far and wide to support the Thistles. We look forward to seeing you again in the morning, G84.
Brilliant. So we are about to start the last quarter here for the opening game of the Netball Europe competition. Scotland on the first centre pass.
Yeah, I can bring you some changes nicely for Scotland, because I know the players we haven't heard officially from the bench yet, but we see the introduction of McCall at goal attack, fresh from the World Youth Champs in Botswana, and Boyle onto centre again, just fresh from Botswana, and we see Claire Brownie moving back to wing defence. We've got Hayley Mulhern back on at goalkeeper, and Ellie Gibbons has moved out to goal defence.
And Boyle was the captain for the World Youth side, was she?
Oh, I think she was. I need to check my facts there.
We think, but please don't shout at us on Twitter.
Sorry, no, she wasn't.
She
Bethany
wasn't.
Sutherland was our captain.
Just again, some small errors creeping in. Good to see so many new players coming onto the court. Is that quite important when you've got 4 games in
Absolutely.
day after day?
Yeah, absolutely. And certainly, you know, the games against Northern Ireland and Wales are critical for Scotland. You know, we're all so close in terms of ability and skill and style. You know, it's going to be, hopefully, goal for goal. So yeah, to get some fresh legs out for Scotland tonight is quite important.
And you can tell me to be quiet if I'm asking too personal a question for Scotland, but do you know what their goals are for this Netball Europe competition? What the aim is?
Oh, absolutely. I know what their aim is.
Pushed it too far.
Yeah, they're out to win. We never do anything else. That's always the aim.
Good answer. I'll ask her off there. Interesting, Brownie stayed on, moved back to wing defence.
Yeah, it's good to keep that experience in there. She's such a strong defender, and just to back up those youth players, you know, a bit of confidence, see your captain just stand behind you and contesting as she does every ball. She goes again.
Fiji seem to have picked up the pace on this through court. They just need to keep control of the ball.
Good take by Gibbons there.
One of the best things about netball at this level is nobody ever gives in.
Absolutely not.
Fiji's still fighting really hard.
Yeah, and it's great to see that. You know, these Fijian players have trained hard to come here. You know, they've flown halfway across the world. They'll not come here and lie down, and all credit to them. They'll fight to the last ball.
We were talking before about rankings. I'm assuming that these matches all count towards their rankings as well to try and get those points.
A good strong hold by McCall there, and nice to see her sinking her goal.
They like to work it close to post, don't they, Fiji?
Yeah, they certainly don't seem to be looking to take the long bomb shots, but yeah, nice shooter-to-shooter ball there and finished off with a great goal.
As a coach, do you want them getting closer? Are you happy for them to take longer shots?
I suppose it's up to the individual. You know, everyone's got their comfort range and their comfort zone. What you need to be careful of is your opposition working out that and forcing you out of your comfort zone. So it's really good if you can be skilled at both, but yeah, some people like the long bomb and others like that closer to post shot.
Umpire's picking up on the contact again early on in this quarter.
It's a good shot under a lot of pressure. You know, you can see the range and the limbs and Gibbons and Mulhern in that circle. It must be quite difficult to shoot over them. Oh, what a ball. A great take by McCall.
The Fijian defence caught hunting again. You can't take away the fact from Scotland, though, that actually to send a long ball from the middle third, they make it look easy, but to send it with that accuracy when someone's running onto it and then for them to shoot is actually quite a difficult skill.
Yeah, it is a difficult skill, and you need that power and accuracy. It's got to be pinpoint, it's got to be weighted properly, so absolutely right. You know, it's not an easy skill, and they're looking at making it look quite simple here. Just talking about the long bomb.
Yeah, and that was a great shot by the goal attack. She's listening to us, really. Very patient of Scotland, just moving the ball around.
Yeah, they're having to work a little bit harder here. You can see the dynamics changing with McCall and Pettit just reading off each other, just getting used to that change up.
And how important is it that you've got different combinations that you can put on at any point in time?
Yeah, it's so important. You've got to have bench players ready to step up and be as effective and give you all those options. You know, when something's not working, you have to look to your bench and say, you know, who's going to step up and make this change. And yeah, really, really powerful benches are so important.
Patience there from Fiji this time, moving the ball around. Do you think that's something that Vicky will have told them at quarter time?
Absolutely, and you see that quick shooter-to-shooter ball there. It was pinpoint accuracy through the Scottish defence, so all credit to them. It's a really good move.
So we were talking last quarter about the frustration of consistently sending the long balls that weren't working. So that may be something that they've focused on mixing up.
Good hold there by Pettit, and nice weighted ball in to the space.
Oh, the cheeky low five by the shooters. I love the fact they do that.
Yeah, it's nice. It's really very supportive, you know, just that bit of recognition.
Do you think the mental impact on the game is significant?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a huge part of this game. Good defensive work there by the goal attack, trying to pick the ball up for Fiji.
Umpire just making sure they set it as well. Another attacking contact.
You just need to see like a bit more movement from the Fijians when they're on the attack. It's quite static through that centre court, which is causing the problems.
Two players on the ground again. Both okay, which is always good to see.
I think Brownie cut the top of the circle, so it was a free pass to Fiji. more changes to the Scottish lineup. We have Claire Brownie gone to the bench, Sam Murphy's come on to centre, and we see the introduction of Sarah McPhail onto wing defence. Sarah's fresh from the World Youth and definitely earning her first senior cap today, so congratulations Sarah.
She played more in the circle at the World Youth, didn't she?
She did indeed. She is a goalkeeper, goal defence player, but nice to see her out there in the wing with a strong defensive line behind her.
So hopefully we're assuming that Claire Brownie isn't too injured or isn't injured at all.
I hope not.
And that this is a tactical decision.
That was just a little niggle there that she had to go to bench.
Yeah. But like you say, it's so exciting to see younger players getting onto the court, especially in this arena against Fiji.
Yeah, it's a great experience, and it doesn't come round too often in your netball career at times. These things can happen once in a blue moon, so it's lovely to see the youth being exposed to this high level competition.
We're keeping a steady scoreline in this quarter. I feel like it's a bit more controlled. We might have lost a little bit of flair this quarter. Do you think that's tiredness or?
Yeah, I think it is a little bit, and certainly so many changes with the Scottish lineup. I think they're just, taking it easy, taking it slow to embed everyone into their new roles.
I haven't got the shooting stats, but interestingly, I don't think Scotland have missed that many either, have they?
No, I don't think they have. What they have, they've managed to get some of the rebounds too. So yeah, it'll be interesting to analyse them post-game. Scottish back three causing another turnover, held ball.
We have Angela Hughes watching from Spain.
Oh, hi Angela.
Brilliant coverage and commentary. Thank you, Angela. We'll pay you later. Yvonne Cretan. Great play, Thistles. Keep it going. There's a lot of Thistle supporters out there on Twitter.
Yvonne Cretan is one of our youth team managers and a great volunteer for our sport, so lovely to have your support, Yvonne.
Scotland again trying to shut down that long ball. This time it lands. Lauren watching the Scotland versus Fiji game before going to Stir netball training. I'm impressed at how many people are watching it before training, giving them some inspiration.
Absolutely.
Janet Young wants you to finish it in style, ladies. They are doing that. Both teams are doing that. Pushing this out.
Janet will be here tomorrow running the anti-doping workshop for Netball Europe. Janet's a Netball Scotland board member, huge volunteer and fan of this sport, so see you in the morning, Janet.
It's a good fight by both teams. 2.5 minutes to go and no one's given up. The umpire's making sure we play every second of this game, which is really good to see, calling time to make sure that it's set properly rather than letting the clock run down. See if we can have a nice flurry to finish. Good shot by the goal shooter. Both teams will be wanting to finish strongly, won't they, going into tomorrow's games?
Such an evenly contested quarter. I've got the score here at 10-all in this quarter, Natalie, so really I'm sure Vicky Wilson will be happy with that, that they've kept fighting to the end and matched up with Scotland. Scotland have had a lot of combinations and different, the youth squad coming on here, which is excellent, but all credit to Fiji.
Yeah, so when we were talking about targets at quarter time, Fiji could be fighting for those targets as set by their coach. Scotland making it really difficult for them to get that ball in.
Yeah, but great patience by Fiji. They did the right thing. They swung the ball to top of circle to get the straight feed in and finished off lovely with a goal.
Another turnover for Fiji. They are finishing in style. That's good of Sarah Watts, the umpire. So it's important to understand that sometimes players aren't deliberately not standing where you've told them to. They just might not know. So don't have to always reverse the penalty. She's made sure she's brought it back because it wasn't clear. It's really good umpiring.
Yeah, it's excellent. It's very, very clear instructions and making all the players aware of what they should be doing.
There could be one more shot left in this. 10 seconds left. Can Fiji get it down and score the last goal?
Probably just about to run themselves out of time there with that penalty call back.
Need some long balls. And that's it, the first game of Netball Europe Open Championships. Scotland take the win, 52 goals to 34. And what a great opening game it was. Many thanks to Geraldine Maguire. It's been a pleasure working with you.
Thanks, Natalie.
And all our other partners. Thank you to the BBC, Netball Scoop, QTV, Sport Wales. Thank you to everyone watching at home. Thank you to everybody keeping in touch on Twitter. Please keep that going. It's lovely to share who's watching using the hashtag NEOpen. You can also catch up with the full match replays of all the games at www.youtube.com/Netball Europe and subscribe there to keep up with all the latest videos from Netball Europe. We will be back very shortly for the next game.
Next up we have Northern Ireland v Wales. We'll just check the time for you.
6:30 p.m. Our coverage will start just before that. Until then, from Cardiff, have a very good afternoon or evening, depending on what time you call evening, and we will speak to you soon. Thanks very much.